Yeah, hi Ravi.
Yeah, hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Ravi, can you please brief about your project details which you are currently handling?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I have total 8 years of experience, out of which 4.3 years experience in Hadoop Bigdata,
Mhm.
and currently working in Neiman and Marcus project.
Okay.
And here we have set up like Kinesis data stream to collect the data from different source system. And once after that, we have Kinesis data filers to convert them into micro batches, and it will convert it into micro batches, and it will place it in S3 bucket. So from there, we will read the data and we will process using Spark and Hive. Then we will place it in Hadoop S3 and Snowflake as well as in Cassandra.
Mhm.
So this is a project flow, current project flow.
Mhm. What's your role in that?
So here we'll get a requirement from the client to deploy the new DAX. Here we are using Airflow as a scheduler. So we used to get the requirement from the client, and we'll based upon that we'll develop the code and we'll schedule it in Airflow. So basically Spark jobs.
All right. See, you said that your project is more related to streaming, right? So you said different sources. What are the different sources?
It is like a POS, CMOS, and alterations. Those are the sources.
Okay. So that stream of data, what is the tool that you are using to get those data and writing into S3 bucket?
So Kinesis data firewalls. So Kinesis data stream will collect the data from source system,
Okay.
and through Kinesis firewalls, it will be converted into micro batches.
All
Like
right.
15 minutes or 20 minutes, like that.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, will it run 24 hours every 15 minutes interval, or is there any gap in between?
Yeah, it is a base. It depends upon the requirement. Mostly it will be hourly jobs. So every 15 minutes it will place the file, but the job will start running at every 1 hour. It is a time period job.
But how come when your job is running every 1 hour once, then how come
Okay.
you are getting 15 minutes stream?
No, actually the project is set up like that. And it will be there. 30 minutes file will be there. Once. So actually we have time trigger lambda function. Like not lambda, it is event log and all.
Okay.
It in AWS we have event trigger, right? That is used to.
Okay. So you're saying every 15 minutes one file will be right into S3 bucket. You mean to say, right?
Every 15 minutes it will 15 minutes, 30 minutes, then 45, then again
Got it.
only 00.
Got it. So like that 24 hours your file will be generated, right? Every 15 minutes.
Not like that. In the midnight and all, CST midnight and all, file will not be generated. So once the sources are closed, then it will not be generated.
Acha.
So,
Okay. Fine. So it seems your project is more related to OLTP, right? Is it OLTP or OLAP application also is there?
it is OLAP only.
It's OLAP.
Actually,
only.
we also get the file source batch files and all from the source system.
All
Like
right.
we also place the data for downstream application. We will process the data and we will place it in S3 bucket.
What is the actually? I mean, what are the downstream application for your core application?
Downstream application. Not sure who is consuming the data, but it will be consumed from S3 bucket. We will place it in Hive table ORC format. So from there it will be consumed.
Achha. Okay. So you just tell me one thing. What is the size of the file? Average size of file for every 15 minutes you are taking one file, right? So
yeah.
what is the size of the each file when you are writing data into S3?
It will be around 300 MB.
300 MB. May I know approximately how many millions of records the file consists?
300 MB records will consist around 7 lakh records, 7 lakh, 8 lakh records.
Acha. Okay. When you are taking the data to S3, right? Who is taking care of that? Okay, by using Kinesis, it is happening. But who is handling
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Sorry, I didn't get you.
Who is handling to get the data from source to the S3 bucket? Uh,
Okay.
so who is handling? Something is goes wrong. Some errors will come. So who is handling? You are the one who is handling, or any other team also taking care to load the data into S3 buckets.
So we are the one responsible, but actually we have not faced such a kind of issue.
Your file format which you are using is a Parquet, right? When you are writing data into bucket, S3 bucket.
Yeah, that will be every 15 minutes. It will be written in JSON format. From there, we also from source system we'll batch data and all. We'll get different file format CSV, and we use we'll type in ORC and the packet format.
Okay. So as long as we receive the data in a S3 bucket,
Okay.
is there any initial checks that whether the received file format is as we expected for a file format, or the data, if some data inside that file, if we receive in corrupted records, so how we are checking? Are you sure that whatever the data that you have received is 100% clear and is ready to process further processing, or before creating a table out of it, and are you doing any initial checks like this kind of sanity checks?
Yeah, that is handled in code itself. We'll create a data frame inside using
Mm-hmm.
Spark that read that method, either the
Mm-hmm.
JSON or CSV.
Mm-hmm.
So then further we'll flag it as invalid record and all. We'll and the we'll check
Like what may
we'll
be the condition? What may be the condition? Let us say you have 7 lakhs records, you said, in a file, right? So how many records, if you get a corrected, that you are making as a rejected record, something like that. So what
yeah
would be the condition that you are placed in your transformations?
condition is like
Like
we
how you are
will
deciding that received file is corrupted, something like that.
yeah
You are getting me, right?
yeah correct. I have not coded new things like that, but I have referred the old coding and all which is there. We have they in that code I saw like there was one column added using with column.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had flagged using valid and invalid, then filter using invalid, then they created separate data frame, then
Mm-hmm.
write it in the different S3 location.
Correct.
So actually I need to go through the code actually.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
exactly sure.
Yeah, definitely this kind of scenario will be there when we are
Okay.
loading into the staging layer. So, but what is the code that generally we write that we supposed to know? Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Where you are using Hive?
Hive it is a data like we'll process the data, we'll be loading. We Hive tables are created on top of S3 bucket.
Acha, you are creating Hive tables on S3 buckets.
Yeah. So we are just using EMR as a processing engine. We'll load everything in S3 only.
But let me know one thing. Source is S3 bucket now. Once you receive the data into S3 bucket, and
Okay.
target is also S3,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
are using Spark, then why you are using Hive over there?
So we will load it in S3 bucket only. Also, we have different target system like Cassandra, 10-node Cassandra cluster. Also, we will process the data. We load it in Snowflake. Yeah, that is a EDW ODS layer.
Snowflake is again is a it's a like
Data warehouse.
data warehouse. Come, we can compute the data also. Okay.
Yeah.
When you are using Snowflake and when you are using Spark, then why you are using Hive? That is my question.
Hive, actually, what we will do in Hive, we will be placing our entire file using run date and all. So
Mhm.
we will be from initial file we will do certain transformation. We will do lateral view and export and all, and we will do some additional transformation. Then we will place it in S3, the Hive table based upon the run date and different partition columns.
Do you know the necessity of a lateral view, a table function, UDF table
Yeah,
function?
yeah, yeah, correct.
May I
Okay,
know?
I know.
Can you please tell me what is this lateral view and export? What exactly it will do?
Actually, laterally, it will create a virtual table based upon the exploded column, and it will make a join with the base table. So it is like Cartesian join.
So
Cross join. Yeah.
okay. So only because of this feature you are using Hive?
Not like that. So we should have the. It is like a data lake.
Okay.
So, also, we have like for data which is going to Cassandra and all, from here only it will be picked up. So we will be creating one more Hive table. The source will be like acting as a stage. So from there we will do some additional transformation.
Can you please tell me here on S3 bucket you are creating Hive table, right?
Yeah.
That is backend is JSON, right?
Yeah.
We can say that is a
No,
page table. Okay.
target that will be like a ORC and all. ORC and CSV. Initial input file only it will be JSON. Once it is processed, it will be CSV or ORC.
What kind of processing, like which technology that you are using to process that raw file which got from source to your S3 bucket? That JSON file you received, right, every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what type of transformations you will do?
Actually, we will use Spark only.
What function you will do to create a data frame out of a JSON file?
JSON file. First, initially, we will mostly we will be directly using Hive also, but Spark also it will be used. Like we will read the file and we will create a data frame. We will register as a temp view. Then once we register as a temp view, we will be passing SQL, custom SQL, using the Spark. That file will be adding the file to Spark context in that particular code file. Then the particular custom SQL will be processed. That will load the data in Hive table, as well as it will be writing in Hive S3 table, S3 buckets.
Got it. I have several questions here. Okay. When you are creating a data frame out of JSON file, okay.
Okay.
So what function or what statement you will write to create a data frame?
Yeah. It's there's some data frame name equal to spark.read.json. We'll use option header as true, delimiter, and these are the options we will use.
So you don't use any infer schema?
Infer schema we will not use.
Why?
We will use schema file for that. We have a separate schema for each and every job. So we have schema in JSON format. So
now tell me,
in
JSON file, right? Definitely we should have schema, right? Like every column name. When you are creating a data frame out of JSON file, schema should be infer, right?
Yeah, correct. But in case file has different additional data, the additional column and all, while validation itself, it will be failed.
After creating a data frame, then you are registering as a temp view, right?
Yeah.
That creates a table in a Hive to query the data, right? By using SQL queries, right?
Yeah.
Here we have two methods. One is registered as a temp view and registered as a global view. Okay. But since you are working on a production, like which function that you are using? You are creating or you are registering as a temp view or you are registering as a global view?
We are using temp view only. So for temp view name, we will be like passing UUID and all. That name will be unique ID, time-based UUID.
Okay. So I think you know the difference between this temp and global view, right?
Yeah. I think global temp view is like once the session is created, also it will be available.
Correct.
Temp view it will be vanished.
Yeah, the temp view is particular to that particular session. Okay. Whatever you have created tempo table, where this schema will be stored or where this table will be stored?
That is like a intermediate table only.
Correct. In which database? In which RDBMS this schema will be stored?
Yeah. It will be stored in Metastore.
Where?
Hive Metastore. We
Hive
have
Metastore.
set up like MySQL database.
So after creating the temporary table, then you start using your SQL queries to transform
Yeah.
the data, right?
Correct.
So
It depends upon the requirement. It is followed like that, but we will also use some DSL functions.
What is the function name to create a new column in a Spark?
Yeah, with column.
All right. So once you process this data, okay, by using DSL or SQL queries, right? So how you are storing? What command that you are using to store the data into Hive table?
Will be data frame dot write method.
Mm-hmm.
So write dot save as table.
Okay.
Mode up and or overwrite. So if the table is already exists, then we'll use it insert into. Then we'll provide some additional columns like partition by. We'll pass the column name and all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. You have loaded the data into target Hive table. So and by default Spark is loading data into Hive table with the Parquet format, right? Or ORC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, we will be loading it in Cassandra and all, Cassandra or Cassandra
Okay.
cluster.
When Cassandra will come into the picture here, after creating a target Hive table, from there you are doing something and loading into Cassandra, or how it is happening now?
For the I told like sometimes we will use DSL and all. We will process the data. So from there itself, we will be directly writing the data to Cassandra. So also we will be making join and all from Hive table, existing Hive table.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like based on aggregation data, aggregated data. So it will consolidate 2 or 3 data.
Okay.
So it will do some
So you
operations.
are saying the same this resulted data is going to the Hive table as well as to Cassandra.
Yeah. But that particular aggregated data and all, it will directly go to Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
And also we have Solar and all, like document database.
Okay.
So it will be loading it to Solar and all.
Achha. All right. Okay. So you have experience in creating data frames, and did you use any data sets as well?
Data set, yeah, I have used a few places.
Mm-hmm. May I know the difference between this data set and the data frame?
Okay, data frame is like data set of row.
Mm-hmm.
So it has some features like compile time type safety and all. So data frame and all, it is only runtime type safety. So it has no file time type safety. But the data set have compile time type safety. Also, it will give good performance because it uses catalyst optimizer and tungsten serializer and all.
So why you are using data frame then? Why you are not using data sets?
Not exactly sure.
Okay, right. Can you please tell me the difference between reduce by key and group by key?
Yeah, okay. Reduce by key and group by key both will group the data based upon the key.
Mm-hmm.
Also, reduce by key it will do aggregation and all.
Mm-hmm.
So performance wise, reduce by key is the best option because for partition wise it will do the calculation, then it will be shuffled for the final result.
Okay.
But group by key it will do full shuffle, so it is a costly operation.
Okay. Can you please tell me the difference between the Spark session and Spark context?
Okay. Spark session from to version 2.0, Spark has inbuilt Spark session is inbuilt option, so it will have both Spark SQL context and the Spark context. Actually, Spark context is the entry point for accessing Spark related functions.
Okay.
So Ravi, you have worked on Informatica currently. So what is the ETL tool you are working on currently?
No, 3-4 years back I worked in Informatica.
Mm-hmm. Currently, you was only working in Hadoop and this Hive, Spark, and all those stuff, not in ETL.
Yeah, not in any ETL. Yeah.
So do you have maybe you are aware of data warehousing concepts, right?
Yeah, I am aware of those.
Okay. So, can you tell me about the types of fact you have worked on till now?
Types of fact
Yes.
table, right?
Yeah, fact table,
Dimension.
yes.
Yeah, like we have different dimension, like product dimension.
Yeah, means product dimension, all this date dimension, all those are certain types of dimension that those are examples of dimension. But
Okay.
if we means there are certain category to all of this. Like we have facts. Like let me tell you, like we have additive fact, semi-additive fact, and non-additive fact. Have you aware of that?
No.
Okay, fine.
So
Okay.
as far as I know, the fact table will have the foreign key of the dimension tables as well as measures for the numerical calculations.
Yes, that's
Performance indicator.
Yeah, that's correct. But there are certain also it has certain category like when it will be additive facts and it will be semi-additive and non-additive facts. Okay, that is fine. So, are you aware of this dimensions also? Like we have certain dimensions like generator dimension, then jump dimension, all those. Are you aware of that? Have you
No.
anywhere?
Okay. Sorry, I'm not
aware. Okay, that is fine. So, but tell me basically how we can categorize a dimension. Means when data warehousing terms comes up, so the first thing we will come up with dimension and fact. So, how can we identify any dimension and all?
Dimension, it can be like to avoid the data redundancy, data duplication and all. So we can denormalize the data.
Mm-hmm.
So we can segregate the data using some category-wise product and depends upon the project. We can product sales and all. We can have inventory. So based upon year, we can segregate the data using dimension.
Okay.
It is like we have two options: Snowflake and star schema.
Yes.
So if for the dimension table further divided into.
That is dimensional modeling you're talking about. We have to like star schema and Snowflake schema.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, in an organization, what are the segments we have? That is the basic dimension that comes into picture. Like segments, when we are talking about segments, like people means employees are let's say consider the organization employee are one of the segment and product is one of the segment. Anything that comes means it will be like a dimension. And fact, as you said, it will contains all the measures. What is the basic difference between OLTP and OLAP?
Yeah, it's OLTP is like it's a transactional database, online transactional database. It is used to run a business daily. Online data will be coming there and it will be stored in RDBMS and all. So OLAP is basically an analytical database. So once we have processed the data from OLTP, then we can store it in OLAP. From there, we can have some reporting tool and all. So we can analyze the data further. We can take the business decisions.
Okay. So just tell me for the transaction purpose, let me from DML perspective, like insert, update, and all those things, which will be faster, OLTP or OLAP?
OLTP will be faster.
Okay.
Because OLAP will be denormalized data, so it will take long time to for querying and all.
Okay.
So
let me let's go to then if you're saying denormalized. What is basically normalization?
Normalization is basically for dividing the data, so it will avoid the duplicates and all. Again, So it's suppose for one customer is there, so he is doing purchase every day. So we don't have to insert every day customer information. So for that we can have different customer table and we can make a join with the order table and all. So we can have one entry per customer.
Yes. So the normalization is a process of reduce the redundancy and data inconsistency. That is what I'm looking for. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So, are you aware of how many types of normalizations are there?
Yeah, normalization 1, 2, 3 forms and all, sir. But not. We'll first level of normalization and.
Yeah, and do you know how 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF on what aspects it's based on?
Yeah, based upon we'll integrate that primary key and foreign key. We will try to create the first normalization and all. Then 2NF, not really sure, but yeah, long back
okay. 1NF is basically the reduce the atomicity, and then 2NF is removing the partial dependency, and 3 will be transitive dependency, removing transitive dependency. That is fine. Okay, that is fine. Let's move to SQL then. Okay, here you are pretty much familiar to SQL, right?
Yeah.
Have you worked on Vue?
Vue, no.
Actually, Vue.
Vue. Yeah. We have worked there. So,
okay. So, can we create a view without a table?
Create a view on?
Without a table. Without a table or multiple tables? I mean, if table doesn't exist, can we create a view? That's the question.
No, we cannot create actually. So, view is like start from particular table as we will create as a view.
Okay.
So, data will be refreshed from the source table.
So let me go to then view. Tell me what is the significance of a view? Why we are going for a view?
View basically can be used to avoid giving access to full table for persons. So we can create a view based upon the data, and we can restrict the data, and we can provide a view for some users who is not needed to give permission for entire table.
Yeah, it's basically for security purpose. Okay, so rather than giving access to 10 columns, I can provide access to just select star from star from this not star. Select 5 columns from that table, and we can create a view on top of that. So we can do that. For that reason, for security purpose, we are doing it. So can we insert data to a table through view?
Insert the data to view? No, we cannot insert the data to view. Actually,
no, not to view. If it has only one table, so can we insert data to table through view?
I don't think, I have never tried, but I don't think it can be done.
I have one scenario. I have an insert statement. Okay. Insert into table values and some insert data is there. Okay. And then I perform certain again I perform some update. Okay. Update to certain record. Then I perform then I perform the create statement. Okay, three transaction I did. One is insert, then update, then a create table statement. Okay. Then I did in between that I didn't commit. Okay. Then what I thought is that insert and update is a wrong transaction. So I wanted to roll back. So will it work? Will it work or not work? How it will be?
Yeah, I think rollback will work. Yeah.
It won't work. Okay.
Okay.
After please remember, like have any DML operation is fine, but if you are doing a DDL operation like create table, it will commit your database. Okay, it will commit your session. So,
okay.
So whether it will be like if it is a successful or any failure also, it will roll back. Okay. So
the entire that insert statements also it will
not be because in between that because you have not done any commits and all, so it will definitely commit.
Okay, sure.
Okay, that's all, Naresh. I don't think I don't have anything.
Yeah. Okay. Priya, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Ravi, do you have experience in Snowflake?
Yeah, Snowflake. Yeah.
Where you are using Snowflake in your project?
Snowflake, it is a EDW, Enterprise Data Warehousing. From there only all the reporting tool will pick the data.
So you said that your data, final data is going to Cassandra. Okay. So what is the use of Snowflake in your application?
Snowflake is like EDW. From there we load the data into EDW and the reporting tools are picking from there. Also from EDW we have some certain data marts. So again further it will be from EDW it will be loaded to data mart. So from there also reports will be written and delivered to user. So Cassandra is basically like we hear the customer using some front end application. So for that data is loaded in Cassandra. So it will be fetched through API calls. So front end customer application, there are several applications. So users the order and all they can track through online.
So for Snowflake, right? What is the backend cloud platform that you are using? Is it Amazon S3?
Yeah.
AWS 3 only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please list some of features of Snowflake?
Snowflake is like a cloud-based enterprise data warehousing. So it can be scaled depends upon our requirement. And not sure really about that. Yeah, that is what I understood on that one feature.
When you are using Snowflake, right? So we can do almost all operations. How we are doing with Hive. Almost all operations we can do with Snowflake with extra features. Okay.
Yeah.
There are multiple extra features over Hive. Okay, like failsafe, or when we drop a table, accidentally, then we can recreate or we can undrop the table. Okay, and there is a retention period. Okay, and there are so many data sharing and external tables, caching. We have so many features in a Snowflake, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know why you are using a Hive with Snowflake, and what may be the case which is better than Snowflake to use Hive.
Actually, the EDW final data will be put in that Snowflake. So here Hive table and all have like raw data with some transformation, some level of transformation.
Okay.
So again, we use jobs to we will process this directly SQL jobs. Snowflake it will directly load it into SQL. Also, we will directly write using Spark.write and in Snowflake.
Right. Snowflake. Then I think you are writing this data into Snowflake external layer, right? External stage.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. From external stage layer, then now what is the Snowflake functionality? You are using Snowflake only as a storage, or you are using Snowflake as for computing as well?
Sometimes, some of the cases there are some Snowflake SQL. There are some DAGs are set up to process the data using Snowflake queries. So we have several DAGs which will directly load it from the Hive table, like through Spark jobs.
Okay, so may I know the Snowflake architecture? What are the layers that are available in a Snowflake?
Architecture, like we will have like warehouse. We'll have one warehouse. Under that we will have schema and all.
Mm-hmm.
So under that schema we'll have tables.
That is fine. I'm talking about the layers, architecture of the Snowflake.
Not really sure.
Do you aware this storage layer, query processing layer, cloud service layer?
No, I have to.
This is the architecture of Snowflake. Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay.
The storage layer will store all the data, and processing layer will take care of processing of the data, and cloud service layer will take care of all the permissions or monitoring purpose, all other metadata management something. Cloud service layer will be taken care. Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure.
Okay. Do you know the difference between this permanent table and transient table?
Yeah, permanent table, like, so data retention period and all, like it will have more features than temp table, but less feature than permanent table, transient table.
So when
Like
we go for transient tables and when we go for a permanent table in Snowflake,
our data should be kept on permanent, means we will be using always using permanent table. So that state table and all will be creating, either we will be creating using temporary or transient tables. The transient table have more advantage than
so do you
temporary
think transient table does not have retention period?
Yeah, it has a retention period. That is a difference between temp table and the transient table. Yeah.
I'm talking about permanent table versus transient table.
Okay.
So what is the one difference? Major difference is there. What is that?
Sorry, not sure. Exactly.
Okay, no problem. See, this permanent table, right? Even after retention period, okay, data will be there in a Snowflake, but you won't be able to retrieve it. That Snowflake admin can retrieve, okay, if you need it. Because generally the permanent table will be used in a production that too core tables, not staging layer. Okay, because the production core tables are very important. We need data at any cost, right?
Yeah.
That is the reason even after completion of retention period, the data will be stored by the Snowflake, site. Okay, that we won't be retrieve those data depending upon request. Snowflake admin can retrieve or recover and give to us. But again, that again they will charge for that. Okay, whether you retrieve or not, that is not a matter. Okay, if when you are creating a permanent table, by default, that charges also will be included.
Sure. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
That is the reason wherever we required, based on the importance of the data, we have to create carefully permanent table. Let us say some staging tables. Okay, some ETL tables. We generally use one time or two times, right? That may not be very much important, right? Those type of table we need not to create a permanent table, right?
Yeah.
There we will go for transient table, right? This is the major difference, right?
Oh, yeah, correct. Thanks.
So who is handling about Airflow?
Yeah, Airflow. Yeah, we are using schedulers Airflow. Yeah.
So do you have a knowledge in Airflow?
Yeah, I have knowledge in Airflow. Yeah.
Can you please brief us how you are scheduling all these tasks?
Scheduling all the tasks. Again, Airflow has backend metadata, MySQL. So in MySQL we have schedule tables and all. Schedule table and ingestion daily ad hoc entries will be there, right? So those in table, and we can also define like which domain it has to run, which cluster it has to run, and all we can define. So we have certain 3-4 schedule related tables in MySQL. So from there, for that we have like 2-3 Lambda functions. Every day midnight 12 a.m. CST, it will batch schedule will create one entry. It will check all the DAX, active DAX from the schedule table, and it will load it into ingestion table, daily ingestion table. and based upon the file arrival or some condition, and it will start running from that ingestion table. So we basically in Airflow we are using Python operator. So
Okay.
everything, all the job steps are used in Python. It will be coded in Python.
Yeah, Ravi, I just want to know how you are using Airflow. I'm not digging further to go ahead and ask some questions from Airflow because this is a scheduling tool and we don't have much questions to ask. Right? If you are aware it, that's fine. Okay. I think
Okay.
I'm done. Do you have any questions or anything else you needed from us?
Yeah. Feedback. Can you please give me feedback, like where
Okay.
and all I need to improve?
Priya, did you observe anything before I start?
Yeah, I found pretty good. The thing is, the concepts, data warehousing concept, you need to just go through it once, okay? Because the thing is, whether you work on this Hadoop or any ETL or any reporting tool, the data warehousing is the basics, okay? So you have to brush up something before going for actual interview, okay? So this is once the interviewer asks anything, it will be like you just have to confidently answer those, okay? That's all from my side, what I felt, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Priya. And Ravi, what I observed, right? So
Okay.
you have mentioned many skills in your resume. Okay.
Okay.
And definitely, if you are looking a job, your resume should be reformatted.
In the resume perspective, I need to trim down some skills, or I need to remodify entire resume.
Not entire resume. You just that's what no. First of all, you refer for few of experienced person resumes how they
Okay.
have written, and that is
Okay.
one. The second one is from my end is the profile summary, right? Profile
Yeah.
summary. I think you have to rearrange the sentences. Okay. Uh,
Okay. Okay. Got
okay,
it.
like experience. So don't use same keyword or same word in every line. Try to make it different, but meaning should be same, but rearrange
Okay.
in a different manner. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and coming to projects, right? You have
Yeah.
written, yeah, that the stuff is little good. But if you see page 2, I think so, the second project. Okay,
Okay.
you have written many things, responsibilities. Coming to your project details, like Marcus Group, right?
Yeah.
So responsibilities are fine. If possible, please try to summarize it in a little shorter. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Don't make it more than 3 pages. Okay. Okay. But
Sure.
it
Yeah.
should not change the meaning. That is my
Okay.
intention. Okay. That
Okay.
is regarding the resume. And coming to the technical side, right? When we are
Okay.
asking about the brief project, then I think I'm expecting, since you are experienced person, I'm expecting you should explain your project at least 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And I thought you have completed little early. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You start slowly from a source, then explain each and every step, high level. Okay. So that
Okay.
you have to explain at least 2 to 3 minutes or at least maximum 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
if you explain the project clearly, right, you will get a less questions out of it. I don't know whether you have observed or not. My many questions are from your project only, right? But
Yeah. Data
before
flow.
yeah before starting this interview, what I thought I want to cover more questions from Hadoop and then Spark.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
by seeing your resume first time, that was my preparation. Okay,
Okay.
but when interview started, right, my planning was completely changed. I
Okay.
have concentrated more questions on your project because of I didn't understand properly because
Okay.
some clarity is missing, right? So to evaluate that portion, I took a more time to float many questions, right?
Okay.
But if you would have explained in a clear manner, right, then questions might be very less, right? If when you are mention one technology in your resume, right, you have to
Yeah.
specify clearly. You have a knowledge in that, or you have a practical experience in that. You have to mention that specifically,
Okay.
so that let us say I will tell you one sentence like I have a fair knowledge on Snowflake. That is fine. I have a good
Okay.
experience, practical experience in Snowflake. There are two meanings, right? Two different meanings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair knowledge is different, and practical experience is different. Based on your sentence, then we will float a questions, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So the moment you say a Snowflake, right? What I thought that okay, you have a experience in Snowflake also. That is the reason I have started asking questions in an experience
Okay.
level, right?
Yeah.
So if you won't answer that, then what I feel, I may upset, right?
Yeah. Correct. So in that case, I need to trim down the Snowflake, right, from my resume.
Correct, correct. So see, nothing wrong. One person cannot be perfect in all tools. That I agree. But whatever
Okay.
you perfect, you should mention in that manner. Okay, should be clear.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever you are writing in your resume, right?
Yeah.
You have to clearly mention whether you have a practical knowledge or theoretical knowledge,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
so that the questions will be come accordingly.
Okay. Yeah. Understood.
That way, you have to modify your resume.
Yeah. Now makes sense. Yeah.
Very good. And coming to the some sentences, right? Being your experienced guy, you need not to write in a in depth like small achievements also. Not achievements exactly like in profile summary, third line,
Okay.
in depth experience in Hadoop architecture, whereas Hadoop daemons such as name node, data node, secondary name node, resource manager, and node manager. I think
Okay.
you need not to mention those many words over there. Okay,
Okay.
you just leave it. No, you depth experience or depth knowledge in a Hadoop architecture,
Okay.
1x version and 2x version, something like that. It is sufficient, right? Because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are an experienced guy. Okay,
Okay.
so that level is sufficient as per my knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
Because question I know, right? When you have a good knowledge in architecture, architecture itself is a shows name node, data node, secondary name node, active node, something like that, right? You don't need to
Yeah.
explicitly mention those things in your resume, because a interviewer cannot have that much free time to read each and every line. Okay, so make sure it should be in a crisp and clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Now.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
overall I felt good, and still you have to please improve these areas so that you will be perfect man.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's it from my end. And if you
Yeah.
want to have any words about us or about the clever studies, that how we are helpful to you, please let us know.
Channel is really helpful for me to get the concept in quick, like shortly, crisp and clear.
Okay, thank you.
Interview question mostly I have gone through all the interview interview videos. See, it has been posted,
Very good. Okay.
and also now I really got some valuable now I understood what I have to do and all. Really helped me to.
All right.
So from
Okay.
next interview I can correct whatever I make mistake literally. Not
Okay.
even
Okay.
knowing that is mistake, and for me it will be really helpful.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, Naresh and Priya. Yeah,
Okay.
it will be really helpful for me to attend the interview if I have some valuable
Okay.
points and all.
Okay. Okay. Right, Ravi. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, thanks a lot.